thanks so much for coming back to the
Are
show.
you kidding? I love being here.
We love having you here. And look at this, on the cover of Elle, looking gorgeous as always. And right down here, they call you the legend, by the way.
Does
Sigourney
it say
Weaver,
that?
the legend.
Oh, I thought it was a legend.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know I was the.
You are the, of course, you're the legend.
Well, I haven't had the cars made up.
That's got to feel good, though, right? Do you feel like a legend?
Well, I'll tell you, I wondered if it had any practical application, you know, like,
Yeah.
would I still be able to wear sweatpants? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would this help me get out of emptying the dishwasher?
No,
you
the
know?
legend doesn't.
Yeah, so I'm
Legendary-
still waiting to find out.
You're waiting to find out the legendary status. I was looking through your credits as well, just to see everything. You've just been in so many epic movies, and it's just insane. And I was looking through this. You've been Oscar nominated 3 times, Emmy nominated 4 times, Tony nominated. You won 2 Golden Globes. I think it kind of makes you a legend.
In the bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it makes you a legend. You can, yeah. So
it's exciting.
legends are always welcome here.
Thank you. I think if you last long enough,
No.
someone will give you.
You're
a
so
legend
cool.
award,
You're
yeah.
too cool. Every time you come, I always want to talk about and say thanks to your dad, because Pat Weaver, without your dad thinking up the idea of Today Show and Tonight Show, which is true, I wouldn't have a job. So thank you very much. I always thank you. I want to put it out there.
He'd be so excited that the show is so wonderful and so many people enjoy it all over the country. And
It's wild. I wish, I do. I think about your dad. I think about Steve Allen and Johnny Carson, and I go like, I wish that they could see how big the show is now, because even to the internet and streaming now, it's worldwide.
Yeah, that's true.
It's global.
It's a much bigger party than it was.
Is this what got you into show business? Like coming to the Today Show and seeing your dad in show business?
Well, I did used to come to the Today Show, not the Tonight Show, because I had an early bedtime. But
you were little.
Yeah, I used to come, and there was that nasty chimp, J. Fred Muggs.
Wait, there was a monkey that was the mascot.
Yeah, a little monkey in clothes, which is not good for them. And
yeah, he would wear. Yeah, he was the mascot for the Today Show.
He wasn't a mascot. He became like the other person at the table. They needed something to make the show more entertaining, I guess.
And you would come see and you would hang out with him?
No, I would not hang out with him. I was afraid of him. The first time I met him, he leaped off the desk onto my shoulders, took my little hat that only went with this dress-up coat, and ran down the hallway with it and tore it into shreds. I never saw it again.
I mean, he's an animal.
I know.
Crazy.
It's amazing I was able to do Gorillas in the Mist so many years later. Right?
Exactly. You were traumatized.
Yeah.
But with that, you would come here and go like, wait, what is show business? I don't understand what this job is.
Well, I remember, he didn't bring us into the network, you know. He was doing Show of Shows, too, and all these different things.
Wow.
But he used to come home with a smile on his face and very lighthearted. So, I mean, live TV was, I imagine, quite stressful.
Yeah.
But he seemed to be hanging out with great people, and he loved to laugh. My father had a laugh. He would just not be able to stop laughing when he laughed. And I thought, well, show business, maybe it's fun.
Yeah, I think it actually is,
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out, thank gosh, you
And
got
it is
into
all
show
about the
business, because,
people.
it is fun,
Yeah.
I know we probably can't talk about much about but I know you're in the biggest grossing movie of all time, Avatar, and they just made, no big deal, no big deal, add to the legend. Well, there's a sequel that is coming out. There's another sequel. Can we talk about what it's about, or if it's coming? Are you?
There are going to be 4 more. This is Avatar 2 coming out.
That's right.
In December. We shot 2 and 3 together a few years ago now, and I play a 14-year-old girl.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
I was delighted to be offered that job because I'd never done anything like that. And I dare say John Wayne was never asked to play a 14-year-old girl.
Is it fun? That must be, that must be fun to get into your 14-year-old self. Do you think back to when you were 14? You're like,
were you a happy 14-year-old?
I mean, I probably was. I mean, I think I had a pretty happy life. I was a happy-go-lucky kid.
Oh, that's good.
But I think a lot of 14-year-olds, it's a tough couple of years.
Puberty, I mean, I was this tall when I was 11, so I was...
Were you really?
I was like this.
Oh, no. no.
I was very shy. I was very self-conscious. So I did, of course, try to channel my my very self-conscious, awkward,
of course.
Teenager. And I think actually that's what Jim wanted. Although he said when he offered me the part, he said, you know, she's a 14-year-old girl, but that's about how old you are anyway, because you're such a goofball. You can do this.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. In this movie, you had to learn how to, like, hold your breath for a long time.
We did.
Because a lot of it's underwater.
Yeah, we had to learn to free dive. And the first thing, and we had this amazing teacher named Kirk Crack, who teaches the Navy SEALs. So we had him for about a year training us to do breath holds. And, you know, I actually got up to 6.5 minutes. No.
But that's not... Is that legend. That's how you become a... how do you...
No, but
Did you freak out?
I was not moving. It's much easier to hold your breath when you're
I can't hold my breath for 30 seconds.
But you could if Kirk Crack taught you.
But what is the secret? Can you tell us?
The secret is training up so that you... so you're... The urge to breathe is a natural instinct. So when you're trying to just keep a breath hold, of course, I also had enhanced oxygen. This is 30% oxygen, and I had like, you know, 50 or 60% oxygen. Anyway, when the desire to breathe comes, he called it the dirty villain. And you ignore the dirty villain, you go, ha, you, go away. And then you try to do all these mind games, like I used to paint myself blue, you know, pretend, and then I'd sing Speed Bunny Boat, like a, you know, bird on the wing, and anything you can do to keep from thinking about, I really want to breathe.
No way.
Yeah.
So if you're in trouble, you got to go, what do? They have things.
Well, I think we had a lot of safety dives. The biggest challenge, frankly, because Avatar 2 takes place a lot in the water and around the water. But what Jim asked us to do, which was, I thought, hard, was when you're underneath the water, you can't go, you know, you have to pretend you're so happy, you have to go.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's good acting.
That's acting.
I'm going to practice. Next time you come back, I will show you my underwater acting. More with Sigourney Weaver. I'll talk about your new movie, Call Jane, when we come back. When we come back, everybody.